I like that they allowed us to, hear her birth roar, that is her voice, which I feel in birth is so important, allowing that birthing person to have their voice. Sometimes it's a roar, sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's out of character, but it's all beautiful, it's all normal, it's all natural, it's all just birth.
This is the official water of Nairobi Serenity Barfield.
Okay. Looks like a very excited big sister.
Breathe, chill. We almost there, but we almost at the finish line. Almost at the finish line. Now let's just give birth.
Wow. Love the affirmations.
I am just going to stop for just a quick second and just like give honor to this space.
Yeah.
Like seeing this space and watching even like some of the affirmations and the photos that she did, like that inspires me. I don't know that I will ever have children again, but if I do, I'm coming back to this video and I'm taking notes.
Right? Like that is beautiful. I love when clients have their space all set up like that. Or if they have to move their location, they take it with them and put it up in the new space. That is even better. So yes, wonderful.
Yeah.
At a higher reading.
Okay.
It's curled up, you'll get a lower reading.
Okay.
Client education. Like she has a doula.
And then when it starts slowing down.
It's slowing down.
That one was in between 6 minutes and it lasted for a minute and 6 seconds. So they do like they're getting shorter. Is the intensity of
In
it
the water
picking up?
though.
It hurts.
About the intensity.
It hurts.
Like, shut up talking to me.
Right.
Ken!
The upload.
Like, I'm done with you.
Good job.
Thank you.
I love that, she gets to be involved in the process,
Yeah.
Normalizing her.
5, 4, 3, 2. Your water hasn't broken yet. The baby's still in the set. Again. Let's go use it. Let it all.
Counting.
Differences in coaching with pushing and just allowing the birthing person to do that naturally, and kind of all the in between.
Mhm.
So in this particular video, we're seeing that, they're counting to 10 and coaching her through, and okay, again, very similar to what you would see at the hospital. And I think there's a lot of different camps as far as, home birth providers or out of hospital birth providers on what they do, or if it's individualized per client.
Mhm. Yeah, because
So-
we don't know. Maybe she asked them to count or something just so she could
Right.
have some perspective. I have had some clients randomly do that, but I would say they tend to be clients who've had birth in the hospital, and that's kind of what they're accustomed to, or they've watched birth videos in the hospital. So, yeah, we don't know the story. We don't know what's going
Right.
on behind, but yes, the coaching versus just allowing them
Yeah.
to do whatever feels good in their body.
Yeah. And I've seen it before where you know, once we kind of reach that second stage, that pushing stage, where the client will, they kind of sometimes need to hear that, okay, I'm 10 centimeters, I'm complete, whatever words they need to hear, so they know that they're allowed to push. And then just working on figuring it out kind of first. And then, you know, and we sit back and we're listening and we're like watching how the body is moving to sort of see what muscles they're using to push and that kind of thing. And then after doing a little bit of work, but not too much, because obviously we don't want moms to get exhausted when they're not making a lot of progress with their pushing, right? So, and then kind of stepping in at that point and asking if it would be helpful or, you know, something like that. Like you said, some people request it. And yeah, so, but we don't, like you said, we don't know the whole story.
Yeah, if I could just back up a little bit, I will say, as far as like coaching, I appreciated in this video that I heard them continuing to remind her to breathe, because it's so easy to forget when you are in that space.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the kind of breathing, you know, being able to take those big cleansing breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, and really like,
so I can really imagine there's a thin line between where the coaching should stop, or, you know, like, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, that comes from knowing your clients. And that's the beauty of, you know, those of us in community birth, we know our clients. The majority of us have seen them pretty much, you know, if we've had them from the beginning, or if we're maybe in a small group practice, we still know them, or we've had some team meetings where we know them and we know what they want, and we've had those discussions. And it is a fine line, but I mean, when it comes with experience, you pretty much know when someone needs a little bit of and you just need to back off and let them do their thing.
Yeah. And those are definitely discussions that when I was a doula, I would give clients information on, you know, purple pushing or whatever, you know, and guided pushing and counting and all the different things that can come along with that stage of labor. And I feel like, you know, that helps clients have the information so they can make the choices for themselves, and they can change their mind in the middle of it, you know, like, okay, I don't want anybody counting, I just want my space quiet and whatever. And then they get to a point where they're like, okay, I need you to tell me how long, because, you know, we might be saying, okay, that's great, a little longer, a little stronger, not saying like, let's count to 10 and push, but, you know, a little longer, a little stronger. And then, you know, they might need that. And for some people I've seen that it's really that repetitive counting is actually helping them to like work through each contraction or pressure wave as they're pushing too. So there's lots of pros and cons, and like you said, Roxanne, knowing your client and Charice, you know, finding that balance of how much coaching do they need, and if we're noticing that, you know, they need that reminder to breathe, we're definitely gonna say something, you know, we're gonna help them that way.
Yeah. If you put your hand there, you'll feel the bag hanging out.
Oh, I love that she's still eating in labor.
You almost done. So is it gonna break if the baby come after it, or? Right now, no issues.
Oh, happy baby.
So this is all natural. It's not staged or anything. So if you're wondering, please like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell.
She is going to have her own YouTube channel if she doesn't.
Like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to get notified every time I post a new video.
Love the support, how everybody's low. Nobody's like standing over her. You're all down at her level.
Right back into it. I'm scared to push her back.
You think she's gonna go back in?
Yes.
She's gonna show me one direction.
That was her head.
Not yet, mama.
Stop, listen, stop thinking about
You
it.
just keep going. You
Listen,
just keep going.
stop. We're not gonna do that right now. Listen.
You're doing good.
Listen, you're trying to think about it every time you push your head come out. It's all the steps. You're taking steps.
You're doing great. It's a process. They don't come falling out.
Just need a break. Relax.
You don't have your phone for time.
7:29. So.
Let it stretch you.
Good job.
Let it stretch you.
Good job. Doing so good, baby.
You have a contraction? Okay, let's wait for the
Yeah, make the
contraction.
contraction, baby. Don't force it.
It's not gonna hurt. Yeah.
Just sitting right here.
Yeah, you got right. Good job.
Slow. Come on, don't pull away.
You gotta push into
She's coming.
Oh my God.
Almost. One hand.
It's hanging on.
Great job, baby.
Oh.
Great job. Good job, baby. That's all you. Good job. Good job.
Oh, baby, you're so beautiful.
There you go. Let's try. Good job, baby.
Oh, Nairobi.
Oh, look at the decorative
Okay, baby. Yeah. Open that big bag. No,
Hey,
yeah.
baby.
Right in there. Oh, baby. You're out. Oh, finally.
The placenta out of the water. I want to look at what a placenta looks like.
Oh,
Please.
She is informed.
That looks disgusting.
Yeah, that's the natural
You were just talking about it too, and now you love it.
People eat that?
Roby.
Oh, my baby.
Good.
Yeah, you're so beautiful.
Hey, baby. Sorry, baby girl.
There's no nerves in that.
That just seems like it hurt. Oh, she.
Big girl.
She almost 7 pounds. She was shooting for 7 pounds. She's not that.
For 7 pounds.
That was definitely emotional.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could feel it.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Man, these I could watch birth all day though, so I love watching birth videos. You know, there's so much joy and so much love that we see in these videos, you know, and that's why we really wanted to highlight, especially this month, you know, what Black birth looks like, what it can look like. And so, you know, so many times we're bombarded with these statistics of the Black maternal mortality rate and, you know, the neonatal mortality rate and how much higher it is specifically in the Black population. And so I hate hearing all of that. And so sometimes, you know, I really just want to bask in the glory and the glow of when things go the way they're supposed to, you know, when you have the care that you're supposed to have, when you have the providers and the support and the system works the way it's supposed to support positive outcomes. And, you know, not just positive outcomes, but positive experiences to get those positive outcomes. We hear so many times like, well, at least you had a healthy baby, you know, and it discounts the entire experience of a person, and that's not fair. So sometimes I like to just be able to watch, you know, videos like this where it is just the beauty of natural, normal, physiological birth, whatever words you want to use, just, you know, kind of uninterrupted.
Yeah. And it certainly is beautiful.
Yeah, showing what the body can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like too that. I like that they allowed us to, you know, hear her birth roar. You know, I had commented, I don't know if it got picked up, but they had kind of muted that area. You could tell that I mean, I could as a birth worker could tell she was clearly roaring, and that was muted out. I was like, oh no, are we going to get to hear her roar? You know, that is her voice. Which I feel in birth is so important, allowing that birthing person to have their voice. Sometimes it's a roar, sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's out of character, but it's all beautiful, it's all normal, it's all natural, it's all just birth. And so the fact that we were able to hear that and see that in that birth, and it's kind of a different experience, if you will, from the other birth that we saw. So
Yeah,
that was nice. That was nice.
yeah. Yeah, every journey is different, and every person does what they need to do to get a baby out. You know? And so yeah, so hearing that birth roar is amazing.
Yeah.
She also had a ton of support around her. It looked like lots of family, and it looked like her midwife also had a good team around her as well, just from what I could gather.
Yeah.
Always helpful. Always helpful.
You know, some people prefer that just one person, that one partner, but others really do like their whole family being around.
Yeah. I have attended a birth before on multiple occasions where, you know, it was a party. Like there were a lot of people there, and sometimes it can hold up birth a little bit.
Yep, speak that truth. Yes.
Too much going on, but I also believe in choice, and if they want those people there, I'm so glad that they get to have those people there. And then when they decide they don't want those people there, they also have the right to be like, get out. See you later. We'll call you when the baby's born, you know.
Right.
Autonomy in birth, you know, we get to choose things, we get to change our minds, and have the people that are necessary at the times when they're necessary.
Yeah.
So, you know, early labor, sure, it is a party. We might have a long way to go. Yes, a distraction. I need somebody to distract me for the next 8 hours or so.
And you know, that also brings up kind of a point when you said that, and looking at the timestamp of when that baby was born, you know, it was 2 years ago, well, a year and a half or a year, a couple months, but what was going on in the world, you know, at home, you could have whoever you want at your birth, as long as your providers are okay with it. But in the birth setting, sometimes even in a birth center. I was at a birth center recently, and we only allowed the birthing person, their partner, and a doula. So you couldn't have your whole system there, or your support system with you, because of the times, because of the pandemic. So hospitals are even worse. There's definitely hospitals in the Valley, here and around the nation, where you just have one support person. So
Yeah.
there's got to be ways, as you say, with this community and supporting and having clients have what they want, to work around the system and work around these things, so that we can have these beautiful birth experiences and not have it be this stain, if you will,
Yeah.
on the birth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's hard to say what I feel like we've walked into, like, this new normal, like
Mhm.
COVID isn't going away. And so
Exactly.
the inability to have a larger support system in the hospital care setting, it doesn't look like that's getting better, and I know we've seen a huge uptick in home birth in the last 2 years. Like,
Yep.
specifically because of not being allowed to have who they want present at their birth. Now, I don't believe that everybody that is choosing home birth are necessarily great candidates for it. It takes a certain mindset. It takes,
Mhm.
it takes work. You have to prepare for it. But I've also loved to see the people that have walked into that power of, you know what, I can do this, and this is right for me. And, I didn't realize I had a choice, and now here I am.
Yeah.
And I love the community, how it has opened up and embraced this uptick, and how we've worked around and we've come together, we've united, we band together, we've accepted this surge of clients that are coming out of that arena into more community birth. And it's been a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I've also seen, at least from my personal perspective, like I've seen better integration and acceptance with providers, like when we do have to transfer in, because they are more understanding of, what, if that person doesn't have to be in the hospital this many times throughout their care, and and can do a lot of these things safely at home without introducing themselves, their families, to the germs that are in the doctor's offices and hospitals, but not being like, oh, you wanted a home birth, like, shame on you, you're a terrible person, blah 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 blah, and then get, like, subpar care because they are in their feelings about it. Like, I've seen that's shifting, where we have providers, or a little bit, not a lot, but like I've added like a provider or two that I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to put you on my reference list for if somebody does risk out of care. I know you have their best interest because of how you treated these clients that have needed to transfer in, or that have done, co-care. And the respect that they do have for the midwifery model, and even how they practice themselves. And so it's encouraging. It's a very small and slow shift, but it's happening. It's happening. And
Which we have to acknowledge it's happening because the consumers are demanding it. Like, let's get real,
Yeah.
We educate our clients on, okay, this is birth, sometimes birth happens, sometimes things come up and we have to go to the hospital. This is what's going to happen when you're there. So if you have educated them on that process, they know how to advocate for themselves. And especially our clients of color, our Black mamas, our Black birthing people, like, they need to know what to expect going into those environments when they were planning to be elsewhere. So it's huge. It's huge. And, yes, there are those people who receive them openly, and yet there are others who do not, and to prep them on those instances when you might have one that may not.
Yep.
It's huge, especially if they can't have, a support person. I know here personally, I'm not allowed in if I were to transfer to the hospital. So like having somebody else that's on their team is
I
fantastic.
have a loophole just because I still have my doula certification.
Yep.
So, I mean, obviously I can't offer midwifery care in the hospital setting because I do not have any sort of, rights to practice there, nor do I have a license anyway, because I'm still a student, but at least to be able to come and offer that continuous support that's so necessary. You know, it's research has proven that having that continuous support person, and it's like somebody from outside of their network, you know, like, so not necessarily the mom or the sister, but having like that doula, or, you know, a birth worker of some sort that can come in and provide that continuous care, improves outcomes. It's research based. It's proven. It's not, you know, this like fleeting thought that some hippie dreamt up at, you know, one day. This is fact. You know, we know this. You have better birth outcomes.